What do we know so far about this apparent missile that has flown over Japan airspace?
Well, yeah, what we know so far is that the Japanese government announced it was one missile that was launched shortly before 6 a.m. local time. It appears to have flown over Japan's northernmost prefecture of Hokkaido and landed in the ocean about just over 1,000 kilometers east of Hokkaido. The missile appears to have broken into several pieces. There was initial reports that there was more than one missile, but now Japan is saying that it was one missile that broke into multiple pieces. And the serious development that seems to be here is that the missile flew directly over Japan, directly through Japanese airspace.
What's the reaction been so far from the government, and I guess what's the feeling in Japan at the moment?
The reaction from the government has been the only person who has spoken in any serious terms has been Japanese Chief Cabinet Secretary Suga, who gave a brief remarks to reporters just a couple of minutes ago. He indicated that Japan has protested this in the strongest possible terms. Now, he has to come out and do this so often recently and give these protests, but you can clearly see that he was attempting to say that this was something that was, it was a new and sort of serious development and was different to the threats that has gone before. We're still trying to confirm if North Korea has ever launched a missile through Japanese airspace before, but Suga described this as an unprecedented, serious and grave threat to Japan's safety.
Well, I'm glad you pointed it out, because that was going to be my next question, is whether we've seen anything like this happen before, Gearoid. And just a quick note to our viewers, S&P futures are falling about 0.5% after these headlines had come out about this North Korea missile filing. Just before we go, Gearoid, do we know if Abe is going to be speaking with President Trump or what the South Korean officials are going to be doing in response?
At this point in time, we don't know if Abe is going to speak to President Trump. I assume they will speak, but whether they speak today or immediately in response to this, or later on today or tomorrow, I'm not entirely sure. Both governments, I believe, right now are holding meetings of their national security councils. When I say both governments, I mean Japan and South Korea. I think once those wrap up over the next couple of minutes and they're fully up to date on what's going on, we might get some more information.